How are you, Vic?
Hey, Soph.
Hi.
I'm good. It's so funny. We just recorded a podcast before this and I felt so rude not asking you like, how's Italy? But I was like, gotta save it for the podcast. So how is Italy?
We're in like a little hotel room, which I've actually not stayed in hotels in ever. I always would just
and
do
I'm sorry, you booked that so last minute and
I had
it's
such
right on the beach.
Yeah, basically I messaged a friend of ours. She was the one who told us to come here. And she gave me a number of a local who gave me a number of this hotel. So it's not on like booking.com or Airbnb or anything. It's a total like family run place, like right on the beach. It's so gorgeous.
Cute.
It's super cute. But it's so funny. Yesterday we hired this boat, which was like 4 horsepower. So like the slowest boat on the whole of the Amalfi Coast. And we were just like tiki touring up to, and we found the most amazing like beaches with just locals. Like everyone said to me, do not go to the Amalfi in July. Like it'll be overrun with kids and tourists.
Yeah.
It has been. Like this morning we did a hike over the hill and there was not one person.
Amazing.
So I think we've nailed it on the location. If anyone's looking for a recommendation, get in touch.
And is it expensive? I've heard Amalfi is
It's only
quite
€200
expensive.
a night for the hotel.
Oh, yeah.
Which is actually, I think we're spending about 180 New Zealand a night.
So what you said, it's €200 a night.
Yeah.
That's not 180 Kiwi.
Yeah, each.
Oh, each. Sorry. Yeah. Sorry. Yeah.
Yeah. Because he's on a bit of a budget and because he hasn't got a job yet. And so we were looking up actually.
Who's he?
Fanboy, my boyfriend.
Your what? Your what?
I know. I got a boyfriend, everyone. No, but we were looking up the different like costs of what would be like cheap, bougie, and like medium. And it was really an interesting and quite helpful guide because basically like the expensive, and I think this is over and above accommodation, would be about £300 a day, so about 600 New Zealand. The medium is about £140 a day, and then budget is apparently £55 a day.
Is this accommodation?
No, this is above accommodation. So like you're spending money, your food money, that kind of thing.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I was like £55 a night. I was like, you're staying in probably a hostel.
Yeah,
if you're paying in the height of summer.
But we went for the medium, so we've averaged like about £75 each a day.
Nice.
Which is actually really hard to stick to. We keep being like, should we get cheap snacks and go eat them at the beach?
So then like £74 of that's probably on margaritas or Aperols.
It's not. We've hardly been drinking. It's been really weird. Like
Nice.
It's been nice though. It's been so nice. But I actually do have a bit of this is Vic's fault. I was like, I can't believe I listened to Vic. So basically on the boat yesterday, we were tiki touring up, stopping at cute little beaches on the slowest boat ever. So much fun. But I didn't put any sunblock on because I had that crazy, really intense fake tan done just before I left. And Vic was like to me, oh, like you don't even tan through a fake tan. Like it's just so annoying. You come back and then the tans come off and you don't have a tan. So there I was for the entire day from 10 a.m. till 6 p.m. not wearing sunblock. I am so burnt that we had to like cancel our plans today and just sit in the shade.
Oh, I'm sorry.
We were both like...
You listen to me for financial advice, not skincare advice.
Oh, honestly, like both of us were just lying in bed last night like, don't touch me.
Oh, my God, romantic. Oh, my God, that's so funny.
So sore.
Our sunburn is so bad.
But over here, it is really different. Like I think if we'd been in the sun without sunblock for that amount of time in the Southern Hemisphere, we would have 3rd-degree burns and be in hospital. Like it's just so different, the sun. But just for anyone, FYI, put sunblock on. Oh my God, I'm like looking down at the beach right now and he's like sitting on a lounger wearing clothes and in the shade.
Oh, because he's sunburnt, yes. Oh, God.
Let's hurry up and work our way through this finance chat so I can get back to the beach.
Yes. The beach. So,
but have you missed me though? Quickly, have you missed me? How are you?
Of course.
What's been going on?
Feels like so long.
It doesn't
So
say.
long.
Ooh,
No.
I can hear sirens in the background.
Yeah, it's London for you. It's also 30 degrees here today, which I am excited about.
Yay.
Finally, summer is here.
Okay,
Thank
fantastic
goodness.
news.
But let's get on to some finance news because that's what
Let's.
everyone's here for, not the sunburn.
Sorry, yeah. Also not complaining, having the best time, just blaming you.
Yes. So there is an eyewear company. So it's like the biggest eyewear company in the world, and it's called EssilorLuxottica.
Oh my God.
And it is, I know, it's a bit of a mouthful. It was the merger of Essilor and Luxottica, like two companies that merged. Anyway, it's the world's largest eyewear company, and it has announced that it is buying Supreme. You know Supreme, the clothing brand? Yeah,
cool.
The streetwear brand. Yeah, so Supreme is actually owned by VF Corp, which is a public company, and VF owns Vans, Timberland, Dickies, North Face, all those cool brands. And it's selling Supreme to this global eyewear company, which I'm kind of confused about. I'm like, why would you buy a kind of a streetwear brand?
Sorry, who owned Supreme and why would they be selling it?
VF Corp. So they owned it, and they've owned it since 2020, so only for like 4 years. And they bought it for $2.1 billion, and they're now selling it for $1.5 billion. So they've made a little loss on it, yes. But you remember the brand, it did like all this like hype wear with Louis Vuitton. They did like collabs, and like it's quite, I think it's quite a cool brand. I'm surprised they're selling it too.
Also, I'm surprised that it's worth so much less. I feel like the last few years Supreme's done pretty well. Totally as an like external view, it's like in terms of people who wear it and the brand, it feels like it's doing quite well.
Yeah, but this EssilorLuxottica company, so it owns like the most iconic eyewear brands like Ray-Ban, Oakley, Vogue, like, and it's also actually makes frames for real high-end labels like Versace, Chanel, and Prada. So it's honestly like this company is massive, and it's listed on the French Stock Exchange.
Cool.
So I think there's a kind of a case of like they're just building out their portfolio and diversifying away from, you know, eyewear into streetwear by the looks of things. But with this company as well, Meta is there in talks to purchase around a 5% stake in EssilorLuxottica because
Really?
they want to develop smart glasses.
No.
Yeah, which is quite interesting. So that's a 4.5 billion euro investment for Meta.
I want to invest in that. That sounds fascinating.
Yeah, but so this company has done well over. Yeah, I mean it's IPO'd in 2000 at 15 euros, and it's now 200 euros. So it's done pretty well. Been around for a long time.
I can totally see that happening, smart glasses. Like, I'd never thought about it until now. And I mean, just thinking about smart watches and everything, it makes total sense.
But would you wear, like, I don't even like the Apple Watch.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like, a phone is enough for me. I don't need glasses.
I mean,
You know?
I just think it might be like the AirPods, though, where we are like, ugh, why would we want to have them attached to our ears the whole time? And now I could, like, sleep in my AirPods.
True. Yeah. But also, Meta is getting into, like, the metaverse and all of that artificial reality.
Maybe the glasses, Vic, are, like, for the metaverse to, like, I don't even still get the metaverse.
Good way for Meta to get scale in terms of smart glasses, investing in the world's biggest eyewear company.
Did they partner with a watch company before they did Apple Watch? Like, was that a similar situation with EssilorLuxottica or whatever it's called for the glasses? Did they partner with, I don't know, like a big watch company?
Did Apple? No,
Yeah.
Apple, because Apple's a bit more consumer products already. You know, like they do laptops, they do.
Oh my God, I was getting confused between Meta and Apple.
Yeah, I thought so.
Oopsies. Sorry. Got it.
Yeah. Meta is Facebook. Yeah.
Got it.
Glad we got there. Yeah.
I'm on holiday.
Yeah. And then also, do you remember that movie Her? Did you ever watch that?
Oh, I think I did. Was it really bad?
With Scarlett Johansson, and she was the AI girlfriend.
Oh my God,
in
yes.
the ear piece.
Yes.
Yeah, and he falls in love with the AI version of Scarlett Johansson.
It was kind of creepy and weird. I think I went to see it in the movies.
Yeah, it is weird, but it's also weird that it's now happening in reality. So there is a tiny Japanese startup that is turning the Her dating, like AI dating, into reality. So it's linking up lonely men with AI women.
I reckon this is going to take off.
It's gone crazy. Like, it's called Loverse. It's only a year old, and it allows people to interact with only AI generated people, which is so crazy.
Whoa.
Like, if you're lonely and you want to chat to someone, like, I get it, but like, it's not a real person.
Do you know what that's going to really like ruin the market of? Sugar daddy messages on Instagram.
Oh yeah, I get them all the time.
Of messages.
Hey, want to earn $5,000?
You look sugar baby. And I'm like, no.
I'm kind of tempted sometimes when they're like,
sometimes
do you want
me too.
For $5,000? And I'm like,
I just can't even remember to text my friends back, let alone,
I know.
You know, like someone that I really kind of would rather avoid, but that's paying me.
Yeah. But Japan has a real loneliness crisis going on at the moment because it's got an aging population. So a lot of people are living by themselves. It's got a real issue. And so
it's really sad.
Yeah, it is really sad. This company is really trying to, I guess, fix that issue by giving people, you know, someone to talk to, someone to be there. Yeah, I think it's quite a good thing, but I'm also like, when does it end? Like,
are there like is it taking off, and also is it a private or a public company?
So it's a private company now, but it's just like showing the trends of where AI is going. And I think there's some positives in it. I read this article and this guy's like, you know, I can have multiple girlfriends at once and they're not going to bump into each other. You know, they're not going to know. I can juggle multiple partners. I was like, oh my God, this is a disaster.
It's probably just like, it's like making polygamy not hurtful for people.
Yeah. And then there's also like, they're saying that it can reduce and prevent extramarital affairs. So people, instead of actually having an affair with someone.
My God.
I know.
So they can have like a fake affair so they get the thrill, but they're not doing anything wrong.
Yeah. But then I think they kind of are doing something wrong. But then are they?
I was going to say, because isn't it the whole,
yeah.
It's like emotional affairs most people would argue emotional affairs are more hurtful, which is technically what that would be.
Yeah, but emotional affair with a computer?
Oh,
like,
God,
would you be?
That's so
imagine,
weird.
Imagine fanboy being like, sorry, I've been...
messaging Jessica 4525. I'd be like, do you know what? I actually think... I remember listening to a podcast about 6 months ago and it was talking about this. It was talking about the AI girlfriend thing. And I was like, no, surely not. But yeah, I think now that I've heard it again, the idea is like digested, and I actually think it will take off. I think that the chat room, the like need for company and like the amount of people who are super lonely and like maybe it's actually a really positive thing for some people. You know, maybe
I agree.
Maybe there's some people that find it really hard to talk to people or not feel socially uncomfortable.
Or you could like practice. You know, you could practice in there. But it's one thing it's good for NVIDIA.
Why?
You know, the more innovative uses of AI just plays right into NVIDIA's hands.
So sorry, is NVIDIA is at the moment one of the biggest companies on the S&P 500 index.
Yes. Yeah.
And they have chips, right?
Yeah.
So are they basically the ones who will benefit from anything AI?
Pretty much, yeah.
Okay.
They're like the poster child for AI, I guess, in terms of the beneficiary. And that's why their share price has done crazy, crazy well, because we're reading articles like this going, oh my God, there's like another use case, there's another use, there's like, this is just going to be such an integral part of our lives. Therefore, the companies that are going to benefit are the likes of NVIDIA.
Are there any other NVIDIAs that are like up and coming?
There's lots of companies working on AI, like literally it's probably the most common mention in investor presentations or financial results these days. But you can also, if you're like, oh, well, I don't know which company's going to benefit, you can invest in an AI ETF.
True.
Which is a great way to get exposure to like the sector or the theme.
Because you can just Google AI ETFs, can't you?
Yeah, that's exactly what I've just done. There's one, an AI and next gen software ETF, which is the ticker is IGPT. Mm-hmm. There is a NASDAQ AI and robotics ETF.
Oh, that sounds cool.
Which is ROBT, kind of like robot. Okay, yeah. There is a IT index ETF, which has got a whole lot of AI in it, which is FTEC. So yeah, there's actually a lot of AI ETFs. If you did want to hear of any others, just get in touch with us. But yeah, there is a lot. If you just Google AI ETF, it'll come up with a whole bunch.
And the idea of this is like, if you feel like NVIDIA's had its massive surge, you know, and most people have earned money from that, and you don't think there's much future in being able to earn more through investing in them, which I guess a lot of people would argue is not true. But I know a lot of people have been invested now for like over a year, haven't they? Like it's not exactly this new up and coming stock, but I still personally feel as though it's got a long way to go.
And if you've invested in the S&P 500, ETF, you'll be benefiting a lot.
I always
NVIDIA
forget
anyway.
that.
Yeah, because it's been pushing up the index for a very long time. The better it does, the better the index does, because it's such a large percentage of the index now.
I guess like if you're feeling really excited about AI or the future of it, that is a really, I love the way that you can just invest in ETFs. We're just interrupting this podcast to have a quick little chat about a money-saving hack that Vic would like to bring to everyone's attention.
So the other night, I was like, you know what? I'm not going to go out. I'm going to save money. I'm going to stay in, but kind of go out. I was like, I'm going to go to the movies. And holy bejesus. Do you know how much movie tickets are now?
No.
I spent £20 at the movies. Not only is it a movie ticket, but you also need
snacks, obviously.
Anyway, I did some research and I was like looking at New Zealand, how much movie prices are there, because I thought I was getting ripped off in the UK. And I was just like, movie prices everywhere are like skyrocketed.
I feel like it's one of those things where you think it's going to be a cheap activity, but you end up spending, like it's a lot. You honestly may as well just stay home.
Yeah. And honestly, I'm just like all for streaming providers. Like you can pay $14, $15, $20 max. I don't actually know any streaming provider that's $20 and get close to 100 movies by paying that once a month.
For anyone who, this is actually not meant to be sponsored, but Neon were sponsoring the Curve Weekly.
Oh, yes.
Neon was sponsoring the Curve Weekly up until like a couple of weeks ago, and we gave away a year's subscription for Neon. So we have chosen a winner and we'll message you on Instagram. So just if anyone that entered that, thanks for entering. And also thanks Neon. And for anyone that needs to save a bit of money, maybe subscription instead of going on a cute date night to the movies. Because also
do a cute date night in your lounge.
You're also sitting in a like giant cinema with like 4 people. Like it's not exactly a vibe, eh?
Someone starts snoring. You're pissed off because you've paid $50 for your popcorn.
There's a 15-year-old having their first kiss on the front row. You're just like, this is not fun.
Yeah, that was me. That was totally me.
No one wanted to kiss me for way too long. Okay, back to the episode.
Google. So Google's parent company, Alphabet.
So when you say its parent company, does Alphabet own Google?
Yes. So Google, it had a name change effectively. So a few years ago, because Google's now got YouTube, it's got all these other companies underneath it. And so it's not just Google. So they didn't want people to think, well, I'm investing in Google. It's like, no, you're investing in lots of other things. So they're like, let's call the parent company Alphabet. And then there's like a Google is what is within that. So yes. But a lot of people, because it was listed as Google for so long, a lot of people think of the company as actually called Google. It's like Facebook and Meta.
I wonder why on earth they called it Alphabet. Quite strange.
I know, yeah. I was actually lying in bed thinking of that last night.
Were you?
Sorry, I didn't research that before I got in here. But anyway, they're making big headlines this week. They're planning to make their biggest acquisition ever.
Cool.
So this is a $2.2 trillion company and it's making its biggest acquisition ever. So do you want to bet on the size of the acquisition?
350 million.
It's in the billions.
23 billion.
Whoa. Have you seen my notes?
Yeah. I was like trying to make it sound subtle by guessing something wrong first.
Yes. So it's making a $23 billion acquisition. And it's buying an Israeli cybersecurity company. Now, this cybersecurity company has only been around for 5 years. They would be like us selling the Curve in a few years for $23 billion to Google.
Who owns that company? Whoa.
I know. Is he single? No, jokes. I'm joking. That's bad
You
joke.
need to stop making rich single jokes because you've made them a few times now. And I'm like, are you being serious?
Yeah. No. Sorry. Yeah. That is not a good joke. Sorry.
No, because people who don't know you well might think you're being serious.
I know I'm not. I'm definitely not. I make my own money. Thank you.
It'd be so off-brand if you were like searching for a billionaire.
I know it would be. Anyway, so yeah, if this deal goes through, it'll be the largest acquisition in Alphabet's history. And it's interesting because if you think back, like Alphabet makes some great acquisitions. Like they bought YouTube in 2006 for $1.7 billion.
That's nothing.
It's obviously a part of a bigger company now, so they don't split it out. But like we use YouTube pretty much every day now.
That would be one of the biggest companies in the world, wouldn't it? Or like highest generating digital brands?
Well, it'd be close to it, but like it'd be up there with like Instagram and other social media kind of platforms. But yeah, I mean, I reckon they got that for a steal at 1.7 billion.
I reckon whoever owns Snapchat will be gutted they didn't sell. You know, like they were probably like, we've got it, we can stay independent. And now Snapchat's just totally tanked.
Yeah, Facebook went to buy Snapchat.
They should totally have done that.
And then they were like, nah, get fucked. And then Facebook just made Instagram have all the features that Snapchat had. And
that's right.
Snapchat just died a slow death.
Eek, eek.
But also Google has bought Fitbit back in 2021. Yeah, so they bought that for $2.1 billion. So yeah, they do have a strategy of like acquiring these businesses into their fold. But also the fact they've got to spare $23 billion is just like crazy. This is why we invest in companies that, you know, have cash to spend. It's also a size thing. You know, you get bigger and you get scale, then you can afford to buy up the competition, and then you just end up with these big global tech companies that don't allow the smaller guys to grow and prosper. And yeah, I think there's kind of two sides. There's a positive and a negative side to it, I think. But
I wonder imagine if you'd invested in the Israeli tech company before it started maybe being acquired by Alphabet. You know, like imagine if because was it public or is it a private company? Because imagine if it was public and you owned shares and they were worth like kind of nothing, and then all of a sudden Alphabet bought it and they just skyrocketed.
Yeah, it was as private. Yeah. Well, this is what happens. This is why if you are holding on to maybe a stock or a company that hasn't done very well, there can be companies circling it being like, oh, actually this looks like a bargain. I'm going to buy it. And then that's when the share price jumps because they have to offer a premium to the price it's currently trading at in order to entice people to sell. Otherwise, everyone will be like, well, no, I'm not going to sell. So, yeah, they do. If I remember like managing a portfolio of investors' money, my old job, and if you got a takeover offer, it was like amazing because you just get such a quick, instant return on your investment.
Did you ever have any massive takeovers happen?
There was a few. I can't remember them. I can't remember which ones exactly, but there definitely was. I remember some in the out of home, like media space was a few that I owned, like bought digital billboards and stuff, like a few companies there merged. But yeah, when they happened, you would literally be like, yay, at work. You'd be celebrating. And, oh God.
What?
So I'm not sure. Well, I'm sure you have seen the attempted assassination of Trump.
Yeah. I mean, I was scared when you said, I'm sure you've seen, because I'm holiday mode big time, and I thought, oh no, I don't know, but I've definitely seen that.
Yeah.
Actually, I was watching Italian television last night in my sunburnt state.
Italian?
Yeah, well, I mean, I couldn't really read it. I could just see a few captions in English, and it was basically saying like hashtag fake, hashtag rigged, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, oh my God. I mean, I have no idea. I'm sure there's millions of different. Well, the idea that he'd like planned it and that it was actually, I mean, who knows?
There's so many conspiracy theories going around. But anyway, so he has announced his running mate. So this means it's like his vice president if he gets elected. And his name is JD Vance. Anyway.
Tell me about him.
So he is like literally from the 1950s when it comes to his views on women.
No.
And there's been a big uproar. He's like, his whole thing is that women should be staying at home, looking after children, and not be in the workforce. And it's kind of scary because all his policy ideas are actually very, very dark for women. And it really, really concerns me that they could possibly be the right-hand man for the president of the US, which is really scary. But anyway,
what are some of his beliefs or like policies or things that he's trying to push?
The biggest one is that he just seems to like hate working women, and he's describing that child-free kind of women are miserable cat ladies, is what he said, and that working mums who require childcare are bad mothers who aren't normal people. Mm-hmm. Like, it's quite horrific.
Wow.
And he said that women have a binary choice between a career and motherhood, and the latter is the only right one to make.
What?
Yeah.
And
just like,
what's his like family home life? Like, is he married?
Yeah. To make things worse, his wife is a corporate lawyer And they met at Yale and they have 3 children under 7 years old.
But is she still a practicing lawyer or probably not?
Yes, well, that's what it says, yeah. So, but I can guarantee
he can't have a
you,
particularly happy marriage if that's what he thinks.
even if she's not a practicing lawyer now, like I'm sure they're using childcare if they've got 3 children under 7.
But I guess my thing is if he believes that women who don't stay at home 100% of the time with kids are, bad, not normal people.
Yeah.
So his wife was clever enough to go to Yale as a corporate lawyer and probably is not practicing.
Yeah, and now
wow.
And like each to their own. If you want to stay home and look after kids, I totally appreciate that. Being a mother and is one of the most, amazing jobs in the world. But I think having men in power like this, telling women what they should and shouldn't be doing is really, really concerning. And yeah, I just think it goes back to the whole preface of make sure you vote, no matter what country you're in, no matter how old you are, just vote and make sure that you're involved in politics because it can impact you, even if it's like undertones or like subconsciously or, it might just be on the edges. But yeah, people with these kind of views and power really concern me.
That's so scary.
Yeah. Hey, I came across some funny terms, Soph.
Okay, tell me.
When
is it actually funny? Because that last one's really getting me down in the dumps.
Yes, well, it's kind of funny. So an IPO is an initial public offering. So this is effectively the first time that a company sells its shares to the public and then the public buy and sell shares after that amongst themselves. And I read this other definition, which is it's the first sale of a company's stock by private owners who know everything about it to the public buyers who know nothing about it. And it's so true. It's like we are the ones that, there's such like information advantage to the people selling the stock or the company selling the stock. They know everything about this company and we don't, yet we're supposed to buy it off them. And the difference with that is that when a company is listed on the stock exchange, you're buying off other investors just like yourself and everyone is equal to the same amount of information because, it has to be public information. So it's something when people get really concerned about missing out on IPOs. It's like IPOs are made to be shiny and exciting and, be the first time that these shares go on sale. But just remember that there is a lot of dissymmetry of information in terms of what you know versus what the company knows.
Is there a funny part to what you just said?
Not really. Okay.
Oh my God. I was honestly, no, I don't mean that in a rude way. I was like waiting for there to be a joke. I was like, is it a joke? Or are we going on a story? What's happening? You more meant this is a really good learning and were you meaning
yes,
it's funny because
learning.
You mean it's funny because a lot of people are like, oh my God, I wanted to buy the Birkenstocks IPO, but it's like actually no, rethink the way you think about that. You're kind of buying something a little bit blind if you're buying it at an IPO rather than just as on the stock market.
Yeah, that's it. You summarised it great.
Great.
Yep.
Hey, Vic, before we finish, I would love to know if you've got any financial feelings from the week. Like, did you have any...
Feelings?
Financial were there financial faux pas? Were there financial flexes? Is there any, like, personal things that have happened to you in your finances this week that you would like to share?
Yes, I had a financial flex. I ordered Gusto. Gusto is like a food delivery meal kit and... I got 60% off and I got 5 meals for about £15.
Shit, that's good.
So I was like, whoop, 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 whoop.
Wait, £15 each or for those meals?
No, £15 all up. It's insane.
No.
Yeah.
Wow, that's such a hack.
Absolutely insane. What was yours?
Okay, so we arrived at Naples airport and how they have the signs, classic. I hadn't organised a car because we booked this so last minute. So got there, didn't really know how to get to the coast. And all these taxis were like, taxis. Anyway, they were like, €200. And I was like, whoa, that is so expensive. Like, we might have to just jump on a bus. That's outrageous. Yeah. So we kind of like walked away thinking someone would be like, okay, fine, we'll do 150. They didn't. But we got round the corner and this guy was like, taxi? And I was like, yeah, how much? And I was like, would you do it for 140? And he's like, sure. And then,
oh my God, yay.
And it was this gorgeous car and he had stopped in the middle of like a roundabout, just parked the car and walked off to get us water. Like the driving here is kind of scary, but it was such a fun, like he was so cool. He stopped at the limoncello factory for us. We could get a bottle of that. And it was just like, it ended up being a really fun experience. But I did think when you're traveling, I know this sounds a bit lame, but when you're traveling with a guy, like if I was by myself and there's a random guy on the side of the street being like taxi, maybe I would have been like, oh, that could be maybe not a great idea.
Yeah.
But it saved us 60 euro. So that's like 130 New Zealand dollars. So that was quite a win.
Amazing. Woohoo! Aperols all round.
At the same time, a financial faux pas was being in the limoncello factory. And I went to the loo and I came out and Fanboy was like holding these 2 limoncello drinks that looked like slushies. And he was like, I made a silly decision. I was like, what? And he's like, I thought I was buying a bottle for 20 euro, but I just bought 2 drinks.
Oh no.
It's like, oh no.
Oh no.
He's like, they poured them before I realised. I was like, oh gosh, not ideal.
Oh gosh.
So
you're like, I don't want them.
No, they were so yummy.
Well, it sounds like you're having lots of fun, babe, and I'm very excited for you. So go to the beach now.
Thanks.
We'll wrap this up and make sure you wear sunscreen, please.
Yeah. I'm in the shade all day. Don't worry.
Yay.
Okay, talk
Good
to you
hear.
soon. Bye, Vicky.
Okay. Bye.